Good morning. All right, let's get started. So today's session is going to be quick, direct, and to the point. And I'm going to give you some time back at the end of this session to start to map out what we're going to talk about today. Because this is a self-created process, because it's going to be different in every market. I can provide you a framework, but what I also know is you have 30 minutes allotted in your calendar for today. But now if you leave, the likelihood of you implementing what I'm talking about may go down. So I think the single biggest opportunity in working with our clients is from contract to close. It's the last thing they remember from you. So what we don't want to happen, it's always good to talk about what we don't want to happen before we talk about what we actually want to happen. What we don't want to happen is have our clients think, yes, Abby was really great, and so was Larry, but as soon as they signed the contract and the deal was done, I just didn't hear from them. Do people, if a closing's 30, 60, 90 days, do people plan their closing and move over 30, 60, 90 days, or do they cram it into the last week and a half where everybody's stressed out? And when they're stressed out, who do they project that stress onto? You and their family. Yep, exactly, right? So here is what we want to do. Remember, your service has to align with what they're paying you. So if somebody's writing you a check, which I still believe truly, and I say this for myself, if I had to pay my real estate agent money and write her a check for $30,000, I would, because I feel the service she provides is worth it in spades, right? I'm saving time, I'm saving money, I'm getting a better experience, right? There's a lot of different things. So when something goes into contract, step one is you set up a meeting with them. Why are we setting up a meeting? Larry and Abby, I married you off today. So say hello to your new sweetheart. So you two are moving, right? And let's assume a lot of us have work with families, whether we do or we don't, right? And we're going to say, look, we want to sit down and game plan out together and essentially map out your move. All the important things are going to happen. So number one, there's a certain list of things that have to happen, right? 80, 20, 80% is the same, 20% is unique to their situation. What are the things in the 80%? Number one, you have to identify, are they self-moving or are they going to actually hire a mover? Right? Step two, they're going to have to secure the mover. Step three, they're going to have to start packing. Right. And this is where, how many people have a mover that they work with, that they know, that they're familiar with, or an organizer or someone along that lines, right? You want to start thinking about essentials and non-essentials. And honestly, I would go into ChatGPT for this. Like, I'm a real estate agent guiding my client to move, act as if you're an expert organizer and planner, and break out moving into essential, non-essentials, where it's broken down over a 30-day phase, and create me a timeline that I could share with somebody step by step that has no experience in moving. Something along those lines, right? And start pulling it off of there and start building this out into a plan. Right. So that's one set of activities. Now, the next one is if they're traveling out of state, what do they need to switch? If they're moving into a new community, do they need to register in schools? Is there anything they have to do with the town? Like if you're coming to here in Westport, you want to go to Parks and Rec, right, and get a beach pass, right? All of those little things. They have to secure internet. They have to secure cable. Is there anything they want to measure for? Do they need to buy furniture, right? These are all the things that go into moving. Now, in the end, you're going to take all this information and you're going to build it into a timeline, right? Where literally each week, whatever needs to get done, gets done. On Monday, you say, look, each week going forward, we have a quick check-in call. We're going to just quickly go through what needs to get accomplished this week, make sure everything got done from last week. And if you need any support, recommendations, or suggestions, just let me know. Now you've turned something that's like this into this. Is that complicated? No, it requires being organized. Now, when you're doing your buyer consultation and you have this all mapped out, will this become a key differentiating factor in what you do versus what other people do?
Hope so.
What's that?
Hope so.
I know so. Do you know anyone else that's doing this right now? Is anyone here doing this right now, today? Bingo. Yeah, and the people that are doing it in a reactionary manner where it's playing defense, not offense. So when we talk about curated luxury, this is what it is. All right, questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, hallucinations?
Hi, Chirag, it's Wendy. I have a question.
Yep.
So what would you suggest for agents whose clients are highly organized? So I have a buyer in this exact scenario, but they're ahead of me on this every step of the way. So what could I do
You
to
still want to have the meeting. And if you've identified, I would go through the same thing. We want to do this. And what does your client say? No, I'm really organized. I don't need help with this. You're going to say, great. I still want to put a 15-minute call on every week to see how things are going. I'm going to take this and let's build a checklist together so that we have 3 people or 2 people, however many it is, just ensuring everything gets done week by week. So moving, which is one of the most stressful things you could go through, is broken down and we can eliminate as much of it as possible. Either way, you still want to talk to them. But look, even if our call ends up being 5 minutes, it's really important that I'm here for you throughout this process, because as organized as we found as clients are in the past, you're still moving to a new area, right? So however, let me know how I can best support you through this process.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a question. Do you also include like the contract contingencies, or is this just basically
everything.
about
Everything. So if I were doing this, right, I would just literally build this into a separate Google Calendar with all the dates and everything in it and just share the calendar with them. Oh, Mike Rivers, golden nugget there. He says, Wendy, you can use the conversation as a way to learn how to make other clients' moves more streamlined by taking tips from your organized client. Look, having organized clients is like having a friend that does really good research with everything, right? We all have friends like that. It's like, oh, if this person said they'll do it, I already know they've done all the research. So for all of us, what success looks like is, if anyone doesn't have any more questions, I'm going to give you the time back. And by the end of the day today, unless you have a really busy day with lots of really urgent, important things, right? Equals emergency. This should take you no more than 60 to 90 minutes to do. This should be able to be something that you implement right away. Right? So I'm on a buyer presentation with Cherish. I'm going to say, look, one of the things our clients enjoy with us the most is their concierge approach to moving. What does that look like? After your home goes into contract, we know that finding a home is hard, buying a home is hard, but moving is extremely stressful. So what we want to do is have a meeting, understand what your unique needs are, plus the most essential things you need to know in moving into a home in this specific area. And we're going to map it all out for you. We're going to lay out all the important contract dates, contingency dates, and a game plan for your move with what needs to be accomplished each week into a Google Calendar, and we'll share it with you. So each week we'll connect for 10, 15 minutes and just see how we can best support you moving forward and to ensure everything that needed to get done the week before does. Here, I even have a moving list that suggests how to pack your non-essentials and essentials so that does not happen in like a day or two, right? It's crazy. How long have you lived where you live, Cherish? 10 years. It's crazy to think to pack up 10 years of your life in 3 days or even a weekend or a week, right? So let's work. And the people are going to be really thankful. right? And just remember, the biggest thing about this is the last thing that your client is going to remember you for. And by the way, don't ever recommend a mover. Never, never in your life recommend a mover. Don't do it. Do not do it. It is the most dangerous thing you can ever do in your life. Movers don't get paid a lot of money. Murphy's Law does show up. Imagine they hit a pothole and something falls over and breaks and it's a family heirloom. Or it's something really sentimental. Who are they going to blame? You. Does human error happen when people move boxes? Yes. Who are they going to blame? You. And do you know what the people think? Oh, they recommended me a mover because they get a kickback. Literally had this happen to me. I had a client that would she was really cool. And she would hang out with me at open houses. At that point, I was single, so she'd try to set me up on dates. She'd ask me to go out to lunch. She'd refer me other people. Did her deal, expired listing on the market with the top brokerage in the area for a year. I was able to sell multiple offers for full asking price, both sides of the deal. She loved me. And then she ghosted me. And then one day on Facebook, I put a thing up about who can design Adobe forms. I had all these people, and the majority of the people said go on Fiverr. So I hired her. And so I started working with her, and she was being very professional. I didn't really say much. I go, look, Sandy. She goes, yeah. I go straight. I go, be honest with me. No bullshit. She goes, okay. I go, why have you avoided me all of these years? And she told me, I had a really bad experience with the mover. They wanted more money. They locked my stuff in. Stuff broke. And honestly, I felt like you got a kickback from it. I'm like, oh. And then she proceeded to say, so is the only reason you hired me for these forms because I cost a lot more money than all the other recommendations was to find out why I wasn't talking to you? I was like, yep, 100%.
Chirag, what if they outright ask you for a moving recommendation? Can you just say, here's some movers that myself.
I would give I would say this in these exact words. These are 3 movers who our clients have worked with successfully that they had a good experience. Now, I want to preface this by saying this. I don't have any relationships with moving companies. I'm not recommending it. This is just purely based on client recommendations. We encourage you to interview 3 to 5 different movers. Here's a list of questions to ask them. Thoroughly read all the reviews. And you're going to say, look, our goal is to create you a great experience. Movers, traditionally, the employees aren't paid a ton of money. Things can go wrong. And I don't want anything with our experience to be connected to your moving experience. Yep. Sound good? All right, who's excited to do this? I'm excited. Everybody raise your hands. All of you raise your hands. Wendy, raise your hand, for God's sakes. Okay, good. I can always count on Wendy to find the unique situations. Don't tell your clients you don't get a kickback, because if they're not thinking about it, guilty people don't say they're innocent. And honest people don't say I'm not lying. Cindy. Oh, she raised her hand. Okay. All right, perfect, everybody. Look, this to me is such a big difference in a buyer consultation. No one is even thinking about this, right? I'm telling you, this is the weird stuff I think about at night. I'm sitting there, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, or I'm in the shower. I'm like, how can these people, oh my God, if someone was able to do this for me, or someone was able to do this for a client, it would be great. Think about that. If they're interviewing another agent and they didn't even think about this, and you frame the question as, what are your expectations in an agent supporting you through your move? They're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Because no one talks about that. That's not like a sales, right? Jeff Lang, you've been around the block for a hot minute. Are people really talking about this as part of a value proposition? No, never. But it's so important. I'm sitting here thinking if I was moving and how much I don't want to do it and how much I hate it and how much I think it's just such a colossal waste of time. If there were 2 agents and they were even close, I would say to myself, okay, great. I could learn about the area. Comps are comps, right? but wait, this whole moving thing, like if someone's going to do all that for me and I don't have to do anything and I just have to show up to a call and follow a checklist and I don't have to figure out packing, what my house to pack, when to pack, the cable company, the phone number, the electric company, the phone number, what's required to make the transfer, whether it's a lease, a contract before you move, or this you have to wait till you actually move and get in to do it. These are the electric things that need to be transferred. Here's the earliest you can transfer it by, right? All of those little details, they'd be like, okay, this really is directly going to benefit my life. Like this is worth the investment. Think about it. The Ritz-Carlton and a Holiday Inn or a hotel room, what they kill you with is service and making things hit the easy button. You like coming here because I believe I make things easy for you. I give you resources. We do live role playing. It's the only coaching I believe that happens like in real time. We're always coming up with new ways to try to make your life and business easier. It's the easy button. It's what everyone wants. All right, everybody, take some time back in your calendar and take these next 11 minutes. Here's what you don't do. Do not get off this call and get on your cell phone. Don't do it. Do not do it. Don't do it. This is some self-discipline here. So if you have nothing to do between now and 12:30, I would just sit here on the call, not on the call, but I would literally take the next 30, 40 minutes and start mapping this all out. And I would highly encourage you to go on ChatGPT. What are the biggest challenges people have moving? What are the pain points? And like, hold on. Everyone copy this out of chat. All right, there you go. Lenny.
Yeah, quick question. Don't you have another call starting at the top of the hour? Listing presentation.
Me? Like, no, I believe we have a webinar at 12, but we don't have,
Okay.
not for all of you. It's all the other trainings are stuff that you already know. You're not missing out on anything. You're far more ahead. But so here is your prompt. Act as if you're an expert organizer and mover with 30 years of experience, breaking moving down into a simple step-by-step process. In your process, you include packing essentials and non-essentials for someone who has no experience moving, including all the details of moving into a new home. Then I would break this down into a 30-day timeline, a 60-day timeline, and a 90. And it'll do all the work for you. Pretty simple, right? So you plus AI equals optimizing time and profits. All right, everybody. Love my heart. I love you all. Well, now you have 8 minutes left. So please get started. Please. I say pretty please. So look, on Monday, when you show up to role playing in the sessions, I'm going to ask who has done this. So for Cherish, Martha, this is something really good to do in your accountability groups. I 100% would workshop this. All right, everybody. I shall see you soon. Bye.